After playing the game for about 80 hours, I am ready to give my honest opinion about it. Although I truly love the game, Cyberpunk 2077 has some fundamental issues that I think would be hard to fix with simple updates. Come with me and let's check out 5 things Cyberpunk 2077 did completely wrong. Before I begin this list, I would love to make it clear that I do love this game. For me and my personal taste, it is one of the best RPG games I ever played, even with all its problems. Actually, it is probably the best one I ever played. Some people say that Cyberpunk 2077 is way worse than The Witcher 3, but I couldn't disagree more with that. I am almost sure this comes from people who played that game like 8 years ago and have a distorted, idealized memory of how the game actually is. If you go back to the game, it has almost the exact same set of strengths and weaknesses the Cyberpunk 2077 has. In a couple of days, I will release a new video where I highlight the top 5 things Cyberpunk got right, so to not miss that and much more, smash that subscribe button and activate the notification bell. This video is also not about showcasing bugs, as I believe CDPR should fix them sooner or later, and to be fair, if you have a really strong computer, bugs should not be a problem for you. Alright, into the list now. Number 1, for a game where artificial intelligence is a theme for many of its quests, it is almost paradoxical the lack of it on enemies and NPCs in general. When engaged in open combat, the enemy AI is decent, they will take cover, use netrunning abilities, throw grenades, force you out of cover, and even will flank you. However, if you are unnoticed by them, they are absurdly dumb. Even after they find a body, their response is unrealistic, they won't try to find you, and some of them will just stay there staring at the dead bodies while getting shot in the head. As for the NPCs, their reactions are also terrible. They will either run, panic, or ignore your actions altogether. Their walking patterns are also strange, and they will appear to be moving at random. For vehicles, they will all drive on rails, and they won't respond to environment, like car crashes or even V parking right in front of a line of them. They will not try to cut you off. Even the on-rail track path for the cars has some bugs, especially on the roundabout of the city center, where endless streams of vehicle will crash on the concrete blocks. This leads to problem number 2, poor streamings of assets. This is the issue where NPCs and vehicles will appear and disappear out of nowhere. Here I'm playing on PC, I have everything maxed out, and this is still a big problem for me, so I wonder how bad that is for the base consoles. Here we have the absurd of doing a 360 degree with the camera while standing still, and the vehicles right next to you will constantly change. This implementation also causes severe problems when you're summoning your vehicle, where it could literally spawn inside other vehicles, causing both of them to explode. All that is bad and all, but this is nothing compared to the problem of cops spawning out of thin air right behind you. This links back to problem number 1, where cops can't drive their cars and chase you down, so they will keep popping in and out while you walk away from them. On number 3, the lack of basic open world RPG features like customizing your character after the game started. For example, hell, it's 2077 in the dystopic future, where I go to the back of an exoteric store and have my eye replaced. Why can I change my appearance? If you think about it, I should even be able to change my character's voice and sex if I wanted to. And this is crazy how big an oversight that is. All the mechanics are in place. When visiting a Reaper dog, there should be a way to open the character builder again. Every change should cost you a few eddies, of course, but we should not be stuck with our original selves. I really hope they implement this feature in an update. Come on CD, it's not that hard. Moving on to number 4, there are a bunch of missed opportunities, and I will list them just a few, but trust me, they are countless. For example, we see braindance ads literally everywhere on Night City, yet we cannot enjoy a single one of them. And I'm not saying about the quest-related brain dances, there are some of them. I'm talking about the recreative brain dance that we see ads for everywhere. There's also lack of cosmetic implants like Mr. Stud and Midnight Lady as well. Why cannot we use them? And also, why can't we have exotic cyberwares like the real skin replacement like the Moxes use or the animals? The Crazy Chrome from Maelstroms, heroes, and even some basic gold-plated parts like the Valentinos, they are all out of reach for the player. Clothing suffers from the same problem. Although there are countless options in the game, there are even more options locked behind NPCs. Why can't we dress like a Valentino or a Mox or, I don't know, many of the NPCs on the street? While at this issue, another missed opportunity was to not use procedural NPC clothing mix and matching. We already had some of the craziest outfits, like some big dudes using Daisy Dukes for example, which by the way I find amazingly funny, but the devs should have gone one step further on this and created some tech to randomly generate their outfits to avoid the clear sense of repeated NPCs we get after spending a few hours on the streets. Finally, on number 5 of my list, the main quest. But wait, I'm not saying that the main quest is bad by any means. As you'll see, the main story is also on my list of I think Cyberpunk 2077 got right. The problem I have is not the story itself and how it's presented to you. It creates such a sense of urgency that the player might get uncomfortable by pursuing the side jobs, which by the way have stories that are even better than the main plot. For me, this could have been fixed by small changes to the plot, like for example, several quests hinges on you meeting someone somewhere. If instead you two agree that you would call them whatever you feel like doing the job, the player won't have that constant feeling that, for example, they're letting Takemura wait for them for months sitting at the diner's table. Another small addition to the plot that they should have done is that the initial dialogues where V learns his inevitable fate, someone should have gave incentives for V to become a legend. This would give them enough incentive for V to pursue the side quest so he would be known in Night City. This was implicit and this is how I roleplayed my character, but I wish these were put more verbally by some key NPCs, maybe Rogue or even Jackie. And those were my 2 cents about Cyberpunk 2077 mistakes, but I would like to hear from you on the comment section below. What is your opinion about this? Do you agree with me or not? Please let me know. For all Cyberpunk things, make sure to subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time.